was Anyhow, y'all, welcome back to episode 6 of the Book Blessed and Busy podcast. Today, we have just been goofing around before we actually got to start this conversation. But I'm just sitting here and thinking about, I don't know how y'all feel, but I feel like a mustard, like yellow inside. I know this sounds like a weird way to talk, but like this is the best way I could talk about it first until I can figure out the actual feeling. But I feel like a weird like mustard. You know what I feel like? I feel like the golden arches of McDonald's.
That's bright.
That don't sound that's bright, but like I feel like that shade of like
that's happy.
That's still bright though.
But but it ain't happy.
That's why they made them golden, because people get happy when they see them and they want to go.
Oh, I know. I feel. That's why they did it.
Yeah,
Adjust
your color. That's attract the people.
Okay, sorry, that's not what I feel like.
Adjust your color. It's to attract them.
Really?
So the kids want to go. It's marketing.
Really?
That's why they use red and yellow.
This is next level. I had no idea. All this time they were trying to like draw me in. That just never drew me in. It was the playground that drew me in, y'all. Really and truly. I remember people would have parties like when we were in school. They would have like their birthday parties at the little gym thing.
What do you call it again?
The
Playmania. Play. It had a name.
I never went.
You never went to the playground?
Me either. No, because I just refused to be in there with all them kids. And then they got the little tunnels we could get stuck. And I don't want to get stuck.
Oh my God.
I don't want to go in and can't find my way out.
My issue with them stuff is that I'm too long. And so I've been long since I was a kid. So like I just would end up like certain things I can't climb on properly. But anyway, just take that was a trip down memory lane. With the little golden arches.
Fun fact, one time we went to Chuck E. Cheese and I went in one of the little tunnels and I couldn't find my way out, and after that I was all set. Never again.
You know I've never been to Chuck E. Cheese? No one ever took me.
No, that ain't true. Let me tell you how I know that ain't true. Because when I know that ain't true. Because you traveled with us and we've been to Chuck E. Cheese.
I was in with y'all when y'all went to Chuck E. Cheese.
You lying.
You can tell me I lying.
Anyway,
because I remember, let me tell you how I remember this. Because I remember every time they have the commercial on TV with Chuck E. Cheese and they have the pizza, I was like, oh my God, I want one of them pizza. I want to like take a picture with Chuck. Was it Chucky or Chuck?
Chucky.
Chucky?
We'll let you live what you dream one day to go to Chuck E. Cheese.
Please,
have big old age now.
If you could go to Dave and Buster's, you could take me there.
Anyway,
it's not the same.
Oh my gosh. Y'all don't have like other weird things like as a kid, like you just like nostalgically like wanted to do or like you remember?
Yo, you know what I wanted? Never got it.
What?
Still kind of hurt. An easy bake oven.
Oh, me too.
I always went because like everybody had it and it was like baking
you had
stuff.
one, didn't you?
Me?
Did you have one?
I had the knockoff.
Not the knockoff.
That's why I look at Aaron and smile. I was like,
no, I wanted it and never got it.
Yeah.
I wanted one of them heads that you could braid.
I had one of those.
I didn't have one and I wanted one.
I had a black one.
Me too.
She ain't had black hair though. She was black.
Yeah, I had one of those too.
I was dedicated to that. I used to put curlers in my mommy curlers in her hair to make sure she had some curls. Then I used to be washing it too, but you know how you weren't really supposed to wash the hair.
No.
It fell out?
It just get mad. It was so bad. But y'all, I love the doll so much. But I used to go like with the East Bay oven, I used to go with my friends because they would have it. Like my cousin and my friends would always have the stuff, and I remember one of the things I wanted I got was a Baby Alive.
Yes.
Again, I always had the knockoff Baby Alive.
Yeah, same.
Knockoff? They had that?
But you know what? You know what though? I didn't miss anything.
No, once I got it though, it wasn't that exciting.
Yeah, you could like feed them and like they poop and they pee.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so weird. But anyway, this is just a random segue in the conversation. But though, I think it's interesting though to think about these like little random things that you just enjoyed as a kid. And I know for me recently, it's been a fun time kind of like connecting to like things that I really enjoyed as a kid. I just was looking through some pictures the other day and thinking about like high school and was like, yo, that was like almost a decade. Like, it's been a minute.
For you?
for me.
No, I was looking at the date yesterday, and I was like, in 2 weeks, we'll make 10 years since I graduated high school.
That's wild.
Wild.
That's wild.
I'm officially the people that we be looking at and talking
right.
about. I am the old person talking about, oh, my 10 year high school graduation.
Exactly.
Or reunion, sorry.
Yeah. I started
Don't bow.
I am wowing, but
your time soon come.
The wow was for me too, because I'm like, what? It's been 6 years for me.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. I started looking through pictures and whatnot because our nurse on campus, like in the school that we went to, the major we went to, our nurse had passed away a few weeks ago, Nurse D, and she like was one of those nurses who was there from like for decades. She took care of my brother, who like I ain't gonna put his age out there.
No, don't do that.
Like decades of us, like to the point where she's taking care of other people's kids, like who used to go to QC or whatever. So I just started thinking about like how impactful people can be in some ways that we never can conceptualize until like far later on, of like how much, like how valuable you were. Like the fact that I was a preschool kid and my stomach hurting and I could go in your office and find a safe place. Or I could go in your office and like I made a mess of my clothes and I can feel a little bit more like confident throughout the day, things of that nature. It took me like to that memory lane, and I started looking at some more pictures, and I was like, this time in my life was really, for me, it was memorable. But it also like, now that I look back on those memories now too, I see like how much it has been, like it helped me too to remember the things that I need in the midst of the seasons of life. Like for me, like being able to just get together and laugh. I know we talked about this in like one of the other episodes before, like just being able to get together and laugh. And I remember like sometimes I just go in the cafeteria and just look for certain people because I just want to get off.
You want a kiki?
I want a kiki. You know what I mean? It's like things like that were just so memorable. Certain teachers I just knew would always like have my back on certain things. I could go and confide in them about certain stuff. Or certain places on campus were just like my safe haven. And I don't know, I'm wondering for y'all if y'all ever have like nostalgic moments like that where you either remember people or you remember like moments of time that like communicated like this gives me like a safe place. This helps me to like find find the needs that I need in a certain moment, or it just gave me like life at a certain time.
Life. I was just gonna let you go first.
I was really hoping you was gonna go first.
I guess I can. When you like started talking, I immediately thought of, for me it's mostly people. I don't know if I said this in a previous episode or not, but I think there are certain friends where they just, when I need home, they remind me of home. But in particular, like these last few weeks, I've had friends where like I hear them when I'm talking to them and I'm like almost like tearing up a little bit because I'm like, dang, I really need home right now. And so those I think are the people, or like these are some of the people I think that show up and represent the need for home. I've also needed rest, and I've gotten that in the last few, but more so on this nostalgia side of things. It's just the laughing and the people. Yeah.
I don't know why this feels like a more challenging question for me. I think a need that I have like slowly had to come to, I don't know, it feels real simple, but I realized that my life wasn't reflecting it, is like the need for something that's not like work, school related, right? A lot of this season of my life has demanded like I always be focused on the mental health field. I am working in mental health. I am supervising therapists. I am seeing clients. I am teaching students who will be therapists. Like there's so many parts of my life that engulf this. And then because I either have friends who are therapists or friends who know that I'm a therapist, our conversations largely surround therapy things. And so I'm always in a like deep, what feels like a deeper place of life that's talking about mental health. And while I enjoy it, after a while, I just don't want to. And so a lot of my needs recently have been like sort of along your lines of connecting with places that are nostalgic and people who are nostalgic, but like for the sake of reminiscing and just laughing. So like recently I was able to spend some good time with like my siblings and just like having fun, right? Just like it wasn't about my clients, it wasn't about whatever. It was just like we're gonna hang out and be dumb because we can be dumb and go out and like we went to this. It's like the conversation's full circle. It's like the adult jungle gym thing. It's a place in Atlanta called Your Third Spot where like has a restaurant, it has a bar, but it has games. So there's an arcade section, there's sections for like Connect Four, Jenga, darts, bowling, just like a fun place. So like the McDonald's thing for us or Chuck E. Cheese. But just being able to like have fun and like unplug and not have to be like super deep and feelingsy and just like, oh, I could be competitive about darts and how the fact that you just cheated or whatever the case is. So just being playful.
Yeah, man.
And having outlets outside of like
therapy.
Outside of therapy. Yeah.
That has been crucial. I think that's why home has been an emphasis for me. Because that's a place where therapy wasn't on mental health and all that like wasn't present. And so to talk, I mean, yes, now it's very much in there, but to talk to people that aren't a part of that world anymore, just isn't in that space. It's refreshing.
And just hearing about other people's worlds.
Yes.
Like what is happening with y'all and in school or work or whatever's happening.
Yeah.
I don't want to always live here.
No.
No. Yeah, I think in present day, I've learned to tap into play a lot more. And it sounds weird because like as adults, it's like, no, that's for kids. You don't do those kinds of things.
Yeah.
But I've learned to like let myself do that and to be happy and free in it. It's fun and goofy. And I think what it also is kind of just doing too is like reconnecting me to my like inner child. That is a little bit more like creative. Like as a kid, I wasn't like the most like creative in those spaces. I didn't take a lot of risk. I kind of went with the flow and did as I was told. And didn't just have a lot of areas to explore. But now kind of doing that as a kid, I think it's opening up my like eyes and ears to so much more. And so I'm finding like a new sense of life or a new stream of life in the midst of what felt like a valley. And so like my valley experience is evolving. And I think it's because I'm learning to experience myself and experience life differently. As well as just introductions of like new experiences, new people, just shifts of mindset, like all the different stuff. When you expose yourself to different stuff, you experience more. And so like I went to shoot pool yesterday, learned to shoot pool yesterday. It was so fun. And then like just like learning to like play Guitar Hero and like just do stupid kid stuff. Well, not necessarily kid, but like just like mindless things. And like I'm also learning the importance of like transitioning my mindset like after work. Like for a season for me, it was like I needed to like come home and watch something stupid. Like when I say stupid, but I shouldn't say stupid. Like there's something funny. Like funny. Yeah. Oh, that's what I mean when I say stupid. Like I would watch like Blackish. That was my show at the time. Or like now it was Abbott Elementary before like the whole season finished, and I don't have anything to watch no more. So I have to find another like just transition show. But it's like things like that have been like what I needed in this time. And in this present day, it has given my brain more space to kind of be and to have life and have hope. And I don't know how to explain it. Like, yeah, it's been a better space.
Yeah.
I was talking to Maddie about this similar things the other day. And I felt myself feel this pull to like to do more, even with my free time, right? Like oftentimes in the say Monday to Friday, I'm just so tired that by the time the weekend comes, I'm like, I don't want to do anything. I just want to sleep. And then the week starts again. But I felt this pull to like do more. I think in the same theme of like escapism, I guess is what you're talking about. Of like, I want to go places and do things. Like I don't want to, while my physical body wants to collapse in the couch and go to sleep, like seeing the value of like, if I step out and take this extra step, like that will probably replenish me more than the sleeping will, although that's what I default want to do.
Yeah.
Right? Like we talk about in play therapy, in the play therapy class, we talk about like the value of play. And I remember even in that class, we would like play games, or even with clients in the master's program, playing certain games like Jenga or card games or whatever with clients. And I'm like, wow, I love this. Like, this is for them, but like, I enjoy this. And so I'm wanting to find those spaces with myself, even if it's not playing, if it's just traveling and seeing a new city, and like that being a refreshing thing where I'm not just locked up in the house and starting the week over on the same trajectory.
Yeah.
I've realized, I think you talked a little bit about like now your needs have like shifted and everything. I realized that I have needed something to look forward to. And I've had, this was actually something my therapist told me like way back. He's like, give yourself something to look forward to at the end of every week or like throughout the day. And that has just been the thing that I've held on to recently. Like, how can I find something to look forward to? And then sometimes the thing I look forward to is rest. Like, it is coming home and snowing.
Sleep. But
it's also like, I think I've been in a state of go for so, like, my value experience has been on the go. Like, not, you know, constantly doing something. And so to realize that what I needed was to wake up in the morning and the only thing on my agenda was to watch The Rookie. Like, that was
exciting. You need to lay off that show, bruh.
That was exciting to me. Like, I just needed to have 3 meals that day, make sure I drink my water, take my vitamins, and I could watch whatever I wanted. Like, that was it. Like, that was good for me. So yeah, realizing the need, shift and change.
Yeah, and I feel like we gotta give ourselves the permission and give ourselves the space to let that happen too. Like, whether it's like giving ourselves the permission and the space to like take risk so that we can do things that may be out of our norm, or like letting ourselves think of it as a possibility that I might actually like this, whatever it might be. It's been a fun space. But as you made mention, the play therapy class though, Danielle, it caused me to remember too, like, why all of this has also been shifting in my brain. I just did a whole class on trauma, and a huge part of what we were talking about was play therapy and art. Like, one day we basically, like, it looked like going to VBS, like, you know, they had the art and craft like section, and you have like everything just laid out with like all the crayons and the craft tools and the hot glue gun and all the stuff. Like, legit, our classroom looked like that. And this big grown ass kid and like adults doing this, and I thought it was just so cool, like, to do one in class. Like, I know it's not everybody cup of tea, but I have learned even in those like different ways of expressing myself that my brain can do more. I can enjoy things in very like freeing ways that I didn't really think about before. So like, yeah, even in the way how we choose to like express ourselves in art, we choose to express ourselves like in play, things of that nature have like really been things that I've been tapping into in this season of my life. And it's been good. I just need to be mindless. I don't need to think. I need to try new things.
Yes,
like yeah.
What I'm chuckling at is, and I think about this for myself as well, is that we all obviously are therapists, and so we're constantly telling our clients to do these things, right? We're talking about, what does hope look like, and do you need to set something that you have to look forward to, or like, how are you finding rhythm or balance in your life? All of these kinds of things. What does your self-care look like? We're always asking these questions, and so now I'm like, wow, after all these years of asking these questions, we finally decided that we need to implement these things in our lives after hitting a place of like valley. Yeah.
You know what that shows me though too? It's like, I knew these things and I did them in another season, but I forgot to use them in this season.
That's a thing.
Like, I forget sometimes.
Yes.
I have tools in my toolbox.
Yes. Thinking that each season is so different that the things that you learn the season just don't apply to the season. Right. I'm like, no, bro.
You've been new this. Just transfer it.
The same trust I needed in that season is the same trust I needed in God in this season. Like, it flows. It all makes sense. But yeah.
I think to some degree, even in what you're describing, Lisa, or both of you, I think yes, you're talking about home, you talked about like creativity. I think it's a matter of like, in the valley, things get so thick and bogged down, because essentially all the tools we're talking about is getting back to ourselves, right? Like, it is a fact that I lost me in the midst of all of the things. And so getting back to a place of creativity and a place of like home and a place of being playful with my siblings, right, is a place of like, I'm finding me again in the midst of the rubble, that allows me to really be sustained and to like reconnect with the core of myself in order to keep going. We're not finding new things. We're finding ourselves.
Yeah, we're going back to the things that worked.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Speaking of nostalgia, yeah.
Yeah. We're going back.
Exactly.
This
we have so much in us, and I am amazed by this all of the time. Like, we have so much in us and so much in our memories, so much more within us than we really give ourselves time to really take credit, to like really absorb and experience and just hold.
Yes. This reminds me of something my cousin told me for when we had graduation and things, and one of the things that she told me was like, everything that you need is already within you.
It's already in you.
And I was like, yo, this is powerful. Like, yes. She was like, all of the resources, all the friends, like all of the community, everything that you need is already within you and around you. Like, do not think that for 1 second you can't, take this on or do what you need to do. But yeah, I think that speaks to what you're saying. For sure.
I think it's beautiful in that the refreshing of, how do I put this? The refreshing of God to us in these seasons looks like God pulling out what God put in us from the beginning.
Exactly.
Right? It is not it's not necessarily an outsource of like something else. But when God created us in the blueprint for who we are, God equipped us with what we would need in a season that we didn't know that we would need it to pull out and use for ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
It feels like a very like garden experience. Like, I've created and established in this garden everything that you will need before you get there.
Yeah.
And as you're in the garden, like, I don't need to send you an extra I don't know why I thought of this. I was gonna say an extra hippo, extra giraffe. But yeah, an extra shovel.
I was like, I'm thinking practical. Because we be thinking.
Yeah, right. Okay,
need some tools, man.
Right, like, I don't need to send you an extra shovel. Like, if you ask me where to find the shovel, I can be like, oh, I left the shovel for you in that bat cave. Go look for it.
Right.
And everything. The bat cave you've already been to.
You know where it is.
Somebody, who is it? Oh, somebody who preached says this. Maybe it was, I don't want to give him credit if it's not him, but I feel like it was Mike Todd. All you have is all you need. And I think we are finding that, like, with God's assistance.
Yeah. I think this is one of those transformative spaces for me spiritually, when I came into greater understanding and acceptance of like God as a creator and seeing like how intentional he is. And I remember like taking some time to like read through Genesis and thinking about all of the little things that like God put together and put into different spaces. And like it's all connected. It all comes back together full circle to give him glory, to bring together something that is going to be good. The product will always be good. And that within itself just really caused me to like fall in love with God all over again. And then what he's also done is like given us opportunity to connect with the Holy Spirit that continues to help us to sustain when we don't know. One of the functions of the Holy Spirit is to be an advocate and to groan and to advocate for us and to speak for us when we don't know what we even need. And like, I don't know, that just caused me to fall in love with God all over again, because I'm like, not only have you created it within me, but you've given me the tool to access the thing, but I don't know how to access it myself. You bomb for that, God. Like, you're amazing for that. I love you. Okay, that's all.
you bombed that.
I don't know how else to describe it.
Oh my god. I don't know why I thought of
it's
this.
So kind.
I never know like where verses come from.
Where what?
Where certain verses come from. But
Okay.
I'll say it. I'm sure y'all would know.
Let me help you.
It's the idea of like there's nothing new under the sun.
Yeah, I want to say it's Ecclesiastes.
I gotta get better with my Bible. But
goals.
Yes. That's goals. But I think of that when you talked about this idea of like it is already within us. Like there isn't, I don't know. I don't know why that kind of came to mind, but that was the thought. Like there isn't anything new under the sun. We're not reinventing anything. Like God is still very present.
As we talk about this, I've been in. So I'm gonna read this devotional thing that stood out to me a couple weeks ago, and then tie it all in, because I think it talks about what we're talking about. It said God could have hardwired us to need nothing, but instead He made us dependent on things like food, water, oxygen, sleep, sunlight, and Him. He designed this world intentionally with specific needs and certain limitations. We are needy by default. Just as food and water are essential for human life, everyday realities point us to spiritual truths. We need Jesus even more than we need the essentials of life. And then it goes into all how we look to like money and power and fame and all the things. But I think what we're describing, and specifically that line of like we are needy by default, is yes, God has equipped us with all that we need. But I think part of, for me, let me speak for me, part of accepting and using the tools internally was coming to the reckoning that I am needy by default. Like part of the pulling what I would usually tell my clients and using it for myself was the humility and the acknowledgement that I am not exempt from the things that I tell them. Right. And we know this by the book. We know like, oh, we all need these things. But it's another thing to be in the situation and recognize that like if I don't rely on God and use the tools necessary, then I really will not be helped. Like part of this is accepting that I am needy.
Yeah.
And I hate that. Hate it. But accepting the help that God has given me within myself takes the recognition that I am needy, and therefore I surrender to this process or to whatever tools you're giving me in order to try to help myself. We are needy by default. It's very much this reckoning of where we come to this, like almost like Jacob of wrestling with the angel and being left with a limp. That is a mark of what we've been through, but also this recognition that I now quite literally need to lean on you.
I think this has been a good discussion, guys, and talking about there's so many different paths you've taken.
But it took a full circle.
Yeah, it did. It made sense. This is not where I would go, but it just kind of made sense. But thank you for tuning in today and listening to how we've been navigating like what nostalgic aspects of needs and our journeys have looked like, and what present day has looked like, and how we are even navigating through aspects of like acceptance of those needs and fair and honesty, things of that nature. So stay tuned for next week and our next episode of Booked, Blessed, and Busy. Have a blessed day with Jesus.